So my initial plan when I started uploading to the channel about a year ago with Parasomnia was I would just make narrative short films throughout the year, whatever I could finance and put together, and then I would just post those online, whichever ones I decided not to send to the festival circuit, along with the behind the scenes video a little later, and that would just be it. Like, no other things, just me doing that. But plans kind of got derailed. I had to start thinking about other sources for steady income and all that, and I couldn't really finance any of the short films I originally wanted to through the year. As I moved closer to the city, I just decided to start doing different on-set jobs now that they were in reach, and I started doing those to get more experience and to also get more income. But I didn't want my camera to just collect dust until I was able to finance another short film. So then I decided that I might as well just do a lot of practice by doing different things I would normally would do instead of just narrative shorts, which is what got me into attempting spec ads. And I also realized that being that I couldn't hire any other crew or actors to work on these, I really needed to get better at learning how to film with just me and my camera. When I say solo filmmaking at the title, I really mean just you as the actor, as your cinematographer, the director, the writer, your set designer, your editor, your sound mixer, just doing everything by yourself. And especially because my style, or what I had developed as sort of a style, or my taste in shooting, was originally me doing a lot of handheld long takes, and clearly you can't do that when it's just you and the camera. So I really need to learn how to shoot with a lot more static shots, a lot more just focus shots and such, where I can still show as much information as possible with just a static shot. And that's what led me to spec ads. So how I want to start this is I just want to go through every spec ad I've made so far and just break them down, talk about what I did and what I learned for each one. And what you're gonna see, most of them for the most part are narratively based because I come from there. That's just how my brain is wired right now. I'm still trying to learn how to make something more like a commercial, but you're gonna see like a lot of these have just a narrative built into them. And how we're gonna break them down is not by the upload date, but when I originally thought of the idea. So I think that more accurately reflects the growth I had in these, because I didn't film these, like the order they're uploaded wasn't like I thought. The first notes upload was the first one I thought of and finished. It was all kind of just like out of order. Some of the ones that came later I had thought of early in the process, but just never got around to finishing until later on the year. Like I shot half of it back in like February, March, and the other half in like September. Some of these I shot and finished right away when I thought of it. So yeah, we're just gonna go in the order where I originally thought of the idea. So the first spec ad that I thought of when I decided to do this was one for my Air Jordan 3s, which I had purchased the day I was let go, because I didn't know I was going to let go at the time. I got these on the Quick Strike that was announced that day a few weeks before its actual release on Seekers, and I was really surprised I was in a good mood that I had gotten these. So the whole concept around the short film was kind of just give it more of a vintage retro feel, especially because it is the Air Jordan 3, which is an iconic shoe. It came out in '88, and being that the Reimagined colorway was inspired by the '97 retro, and I believe it's '97, and its release having that Goodwill look to the box, like it's been aged, and the shoe coming slightly aged, I kind of wanted the film to also look and feel that way. And I watched a lot of Spike Lee's original work with Nike and Jordan to get inspiration. This is really nothing like those, but that's kind of where I initially took inspiration to make this. This is almost exactly how I wanted. The big difference is between what I call the beauty shots and the different like cuts to all the different images. It was supposed to be a long dolly shot of me walking, and that would be intercut with the footage with me walking with the shoes on. And obviously, I don't own a dolly. It's only just me. So my idea was to get a skateboard, put the camera on it, get a stick, and just like try to roll the skateboard as I walked at the same pace, which didn't go well. So I ended up just cutting it, and that's kind of what took so long for me to make this. Was I just didn't feel inspired to do anything else. And at one point I decided I might as well just do which one I ended up doing, which is the just shot of me unboxing the shoe, which isn't really all that crazy or anything. The big thing I learned while I was making this initially was that I really needed to simplify some of the stuff I want, because that's just like how I'm not used to just filming myself. So that was the big thing that I had to learn, was I need to simplify what I want to make something that's actually feasible for me to do. And yeah, you can definitely tell this is something I thought of early on. There's not much inspiration in the storytelling of this or in the look. It is pretty basic, and kind of shows I'm still learning how this whole spec ad thing works. So the next spec ad I thought of, since I was going with along with the thing of shoes, because that's something I know from playing sports growing up and being a sneakerhead, I decided, you know what, let me look at what else I have. So I decided to doing my Pumas. I got the RS Dreamer, which is J. Cole's signature shoe, and as people who know me know, he is my favorite rapper. I love his music a lot, and his mixtapes to Warm Up and Friday Night Lights are very important to my life. So I decided to take the intro to the Warm Up and turn that basically into a spec ad. And he kind of did that already with the trailer for the Warm Up that is on his YouTube channel. But I kind of wanted to do something different. That's kind of where I was like, I could maybe make a spec ad out of this. So initially, just like the last short, this one didn't start off this way. I initially wanted to be going with the theme of a player that was cut from the basketball team, which anybody who knows the Warm-Up mixtape, that's kind of the whole theme of it. Is about, the whole story is about this guy who looked at the list, didn't make the basketball team, and decided he needed to go harder to prove that he really deserved to be on the spot. So I kind of wanted to take inspiration of that and actually make up the story, with initially starting off where I would be in a gym. You would have a coach's voice going, talking, naming names and saying, if I didn't call your name, I'm sorry I didn't make the team. Couldn't really get a gym that I could film in. Plus, I would have to voice act with the coach's voice. Again, stuff that like I'm thinking of, like, oh wait, I can't do that. It's just me. So I ended up switching to this because half the time when I found out I didn't make the team in, middle school or whatnot, they just posted a list online on their website, and me and my friends would talk about it, especially me and my football teammates. So I kind of just based it around that. I initially wanted this actually to be in 4:3. But after I started shooting, I realized, you know what, CinemaScope is actually not bad for this. This is the first thing I've ever done completely in CinemaScope. All of that right before that was done just recently. Everything after this I had filmed months ago. There's a giant months difference. And I hated that because my hair changed a lot. I kept shaving and growing out my facial hair, which the whole continuity thing was an issue. You kind of tell in the shot selection in the beginning, is a lot more inspired than kind of what comes after this. Yeah, the whole hair continuity was a big problem with doing these over, like, not shooting all these at once, kind of shooting them over time. Especially at one point, I did end up going blonde during the summer, then cutting my hair off, which obviously doesn't look all that well. Let's see, I'm kind of glad I waited on some of these because I ended up learning how to get my color grade better than it was back when I had made my initial shorts like Parasomnia and From a Distance. And the biggest problem with this was just, finding interesting shots of me playing basketball. And, this is a public park. I hate filming in public places and having other people see me film because I hate being filmed. That shot right there, hang on, that's actually kind of funny. So, like, because, like, I hate filming in public spaces, I was in a rush the entire time. Like, I need to just get some shots. Then look back in the footage and say, oh, I need more. And I would do that over and over again. And at some point, I just kind of slept on this and left it alone. And when I came back to it, I was like, I still need more shots. But I can't because my hair was completely almost bald at that point. So a shot like this, I had to shoot really close and had this shot go by so quickly so you couldn't tell my hair was that different. And a lot of these shots, if you pause and see, you'll see at least my beard is at completely different lengths at different times. I actually grabbed the wrong USB-C cord also when I went to shoot this last shot. And when I did, I grabbed the one that didn't have fast enough data speeds for B-RAW, which was terrible. So it kept like stopping recording after a few seconds. So I barely got any footage while I was there. So I didn't bring my Thunderbolt cord with me, which is why this shot is also so short. Yeah, that's just kind of funny, but Yeah, it definitely like I like kind of need to get over fear of being in public recording. But at the same time, I understand like nobody wants to get filmed like without being asked. Um, so I had to get creative with shots without like showing the rest of the park because this is a very popular park where I'm at, and obviously nobody wants to be like shot and seen. And clearly you could tell I hadn't played basketball in a very long time when I was recording this, like not consistently like I did in high school. And that last shot, the slow motion shot, I had to do that like 2 or 3 times. That was one of the main things I had to reshoot, mainly because I kept forgetting to change. Like I'd never done slow motion before. I kept forgetting like, oh yeah, I need to change my shutter speed or also do my off speed recording and such to actually make it look smooth and clean. Which is a rookie mistake I definitely shouldn't have made. All in all, with this one, while I'm obviously not happy reimagined, this one I'm more mixed on. I'm a little more forgiving because some of these shots I still really like, where like you're back when I'm backing up to see the Dreamer logo, or some of the stuff in the beginning. I think some of these shots are just a lot more inspired. And I couldn't have done this shot until recently because I didn't have my wide angle lens until like August or September. But yeah, that is the Dreamer spec ad. And I guess we'll go along to the next one. Now, this one was easily the most rushed one I did. This is the only one where I did it in one single sitting. I had tried to upload regularly back in April, May. When I was starting to record all these, I was like, I'm gonna make like 5 of these, and and just put them up back to back to back once every week. And that's when I originally wanted to start doing it. And I was looking for a new job at the time, and I got a new job, and life was complicated. And I already started uploading with like my favorite films of 2022 video, and that's why I made like that intro video so quickly and why it looks like so shittily. So I just hadn't finished the other shorts, well, the spec ads, the Dreamer, the Air Dream Reimagined and such. I was like, I need to like quickly make something to put out this Friday or whatever, because I think I was doing Fridays back then. So like it just obviously shows in this. Like this is really the first one I finished out of all the spec ads. It was the first one I thought, but this was the first one I finished. So you could see like front to back, like how differently I just like made these. So like this really shows like when I was really trying to figure out how to do the whole spec ad shooting thing, because that's just like not how I think and how I again build narratives into all of these, because I come from narrative filmmaking. That's really all I know. The music was something I just threw in there because I couldn't find anything else on Artlist that fit this. As much as I love Artlist, when you're in a pinch, sometimes it's hard to like find tracks. There's so many amazing tracks on there, but at times it's easier to look at this. Is that a tripod shake? That's how quickly I just put this together. There's a tripod shake for me actually stepping on the leg, and I just went with it instead of just reshooting it, and I hate looking at my face. But yeah, I need narratives for these to work for me, and you can definitely just see with all these shots, they're not that inspired. They're all kind of lazy and kind of just quickly shooting, get done, and not me really thinking of like the best way I can, like, I hadn't figured out how to like really construct shots for a spec ad compared to like narrative work. And so kind of like some of the ideas I had for this, I just wished I didn't feel that rush, and I just took up my time like with the rest of them and waited to finish this. I wish I was a little cleaner. And you can see with some of the lighting, because I'm still learning to light. A lot of this was done with my just my Amaran 100D mimicking sunlight, because at the time, and still kind of now, I'm really tied to like heightened realistic lighting, which I'm kind of trying to move away to and do stuff that's more not as grounded in a sense, because I feel like I can just do more if I just allow myself to just make the images look better without constraining myself to make it look completely grounded and realistic. You can also see my sister's dog's leg in there. He makes a cameo in a lot of my stuff, because I usually film when I'm alone, like home alone, so like nobody else has to embarrassingly see me make these, and so he usually hangs out with me. Like I like all the ideas for this and a lot of the shots. Like, well, some of the shots, like I still like this shot. I still like the idea of the crash zooms and such. But then I have shots like these where I'm just like Definitely not happy with how it looks or how it's lit. It's very flat and it's very ugly. Especially this too. Like you can tell it's just like I need to just get a shot of me doing crunches in my very cramped room. I gotta just do something. And the lighting just looks very obviously just like bad and fake. And I definitely could have done a lot more with this concept because the whole concept of this is like struggling, especially getting back into working out is hard. Like I grew up playing sports all my life, and it was after high school where I stopped working out regularly, and getting back into that has been so hard. I just want to make something that was kind of more inspiration. Like for me, like how I feel is like, you know, change is hard. Getting back into things is hard, and sometimes you just got to keep going and such. I do wish I could have gotten that fall better. This shot was actually supposed to be really differently. So originally what I was going to do was it was going to be me running towards the camera and me quickly zigzagging and, you know, to this shot where I'm running away. What I was going to do was record no subject there, whip panning with the camera to make it look like I hit the camera because I was running fast enough to make it move to that direction, which was definitely, again, with the early stuff, just like way out of what I can like obviously do solo filmmaking. Like there's ideas there that are just like unrealistic for me and such. And I did this fall so many times, but again, there's people there, so like I didn't want to redo it, even though I knew the falls kept looking so fake and awful. But like, yeah, that was kind of fun to do. But like, I do wish I had the part to myself, and I wish I'd given this more time, so I could have made something a lot better than this. This is definitely like I think the worst thing I have ever uploaded. Like I can easily say this is the worst thing I've ever done, and I'm definitely not proud of this one. I probably hate this one the most. It's more because I rushed this out instead of just taking the time. Like part of me thinks I could redo this and should, but part of me is like it's there, it exists, and it's okay. Now, the Manscaped one. This one was the last one I thought of, not the last one I made, but this is definitely the one I put the most like thought into, the most natural one thinking of. I find it cringe, but I also find it like my type of funny at the same time. And I am just like happy I went all in on this one and actually like took the time to develop like an actual like engaging spec ad of the sorts. And all of these are relatively short, but this is really where I was like cutting down, because all the other spec ads were usually running a lot longer, and this one where I really like honed in on trying to cut a lot faster. Like if you compare my shot timing on my short films compared to the spec ads, especially like this one, my shot lengths are probably triple what this is. Like I really leaned into shorter, like a lot quicker cuts, and I got better at communicating a lot more information in static shots with this. And this is probably the only thing I've made where I've gotten a lot of feedback from people I know who like see my stuff and actually want to talk about it, which is both embarrassing at the same time because I can't believe like I have relatives who saw that shot of me, you know, like cutting myself with a razor and bleeding, and also making like the oh yeah face and stuff. Like I can't believe I had relatives to see them, but you know, like it is what it is. It is what it is. While I do think this is cringy, I'm also kind of just proud in a sort of way. So I feel like this is where like I actually saw them. I felt like I saw the most growth as a filmmaker in this compared to the other spec ads. Like I was definitely learning to restrain myself more, because this too I thought this was like, oh, I could have a moving shot of like all this trash on the ground, like his life is a mess, then pan up to him. I was like, nope, I can't do that. I can't like pan up to the bed if I have to be the one holding the camera. So I just like focused on just making the sheets look messy, grew out my beard. This is the main one that held me back from reshooting some of the other ones, because I had to grow out my beard for this, for the shaving. And I had to not mess up any of the shaving or any of the shots beforehand. This is also the one where I learned how to do the text bubbles, which is a pain on a 8 GB Mac Mini M1, because M1's powerful, but like the base M1 Mac Mini is not good for Fusion at all. And you can tell on the screen that it's just me looking at my screensaver, which is just Deku, but like, because like I thought, because when I picked up my phone, I keep forgetting with the iPhones, if you pick up a phone, it automatically wakes up instead of like just laying black. And when I did, I was like, you know what, you probably won't be able to see it. And then it pops. It's like, you know what, if I put the text bubbles, make the shot quick enough, no one's probably gonna look at the screen and just see Deku. This initially was supposed to be a different joke. So after you grab his shoes, before you look at that, you're supposed to see me quickly just grab a hammer. So while you're quickly seeing me grab like the shirt, then the shoes, the pants, and then you grab a hammer, you're like, wait, why are you grabbing a hammer? Then you just see the glass, and then me hitting. I was supposed to hit the glass with the hammer, but I couldn't get an attractive shot of me. I couldn't even find the hammer that was in the apartment, and I couldn't find a way to actually like make me hitting the glass with a hammer work with such confined space in my room. So I was like, you know what? Instead, I'll just be punching the hammer. Sorry, punching the glass. And initially, I was going to have it look like that lighthouse shot where Robert Pattinson's character hits the glass, but like I can't mess up my hands. I gotta work. It's like, you know what? I'll just make it look like I'm punching at the camera. And I just remember seeing this when I used to be on iFunny when I was like in second grade. I remember seeing a meme where it had like this picture on it. I remember showing my mom because I thought it was funny, which is a weird thing to show your mom when you're like 9 or 10. You think it's hilarious, but you know, it is what it is. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that for a thing. So I remember, yeah, just like buying this and everything and hanging in my room. I think I might still have this, but like, yeah. You can tell I was having a lot of fun shooting this. That shot pisses me off, only because I know I could do a way better shot of me opening a door with a doorknob. Like, this is really the best thing I can think of at that time for a door, like opening a door. Like, to me, just look like I could do something way more interesting than that. I really could. I'm kind of mad about that. Lighting wise, the composition of the shot and everything, I can do so much better. And then, yeah, this was the main. Yeah, this whole front bulk, I really need to make sure I got it done because there's no way I'd be able to shade. Like, I grew out my beard. Like, it takes a while to grow out my beard, so like I can't like do a million takes of this. And this used to also be a lot longer. This is when I was really like, okay, I just need to cut. I still wish I made this a lot shorter than it is now. You can tell like the shots are also out of order. I was just trying to do the best like transitional shots for each of these. Also, great music from Artlist. I love a lot of the music on there. And I did end up growing out my beard again to do some more shots of that, which didn't really work. But it is what it is. I hope you can't tell that my beard's at 2 different lengths. I'm cutting it. And then the fun part, which was doing this. And yeah, also this was like what made me like really put the hammer down and finish this, because I knew I was gonna have to dye my hair blonde by the end of June. I lost a bet with the NBA playoffs. Don't ask. So that's really what got me. It's like, okay, I really need to finish this, and what got me like really like thinking hard about making this, because I had an actual deadline that wasn't really self-imposed. I had lost a bet, and I knew I couldn't redo any of this after my hair was dyed, which sometimes is the best motivation. And yeah, this was one of the first ideas I had for this, and this is the idea and reason why I want to make this, was just to do this shot of me screaming with the horror lighting cutting to the blood dripping down the leg. I used a lot of my fake blood for this because I just had a lot left over from a distance. And I'm still happy with this part. I do think I could have shot some of this definitely a lot cleaner. This definitely still doesn't feel like an ad. There's what, like 2 shots of the like razor in the entire thing. They're not really glory shots except for that one. I still can't believe I had relatives who had seen this shot or this whole thing. Like, but it is what it is. Yeah, probably of all the spec ads, one I'm most proud of, that I think actually is like shows sign of me growing as a filmmaker. Now, none of these I think are good. I think a lot of these are bad. I think all of these are bad. But this one compared to the others, you can definitely see the growth. And I feel like once I start doing a couple more spec ads and doing more, getting more and more practice in, I feel like I can maybe make something halfway decent with like a year from now, hopefully. Yeah, those were the different shorts that I had made for, you know, these different spec ads I want to try out. There was a couple others I had ideas for I just ended up not doing. Some of them I just like gave up on, or just like I didn't, this idea wasn't strong enough, so I hadn't done them. Yeah, let's just talk about the biggest things I learned from doing this then. Alright, I'm gonna make this quick only because I realized, well, because I'm in the middle of editing right now, the video is running overly long, and I'm also running low on my SSD card. So yeah, let's just speed run the biggest things I learned from doing these solo spec ads. Big thing is measuring my expectations to fit making something just by myself without any sort of help, and constraining myself so that I don't do anything way too out of bounds that will take up way too much time, that is time wasted. I could have been doing something else. Maintaining my expectations and planning according to that. Another big thing I learned really is just to it's back to killing your babies and learning to cut a lot more. I am a lot more strict with what I cut out of my work now. I can easily chop something out away. The Manscaped ad was originally running around like 5-7 minutes, and now it's a million times shorter than that. Even the short film I made that I recently uploaded, which was the Cut Me Out short, that was originally 7 minutes long, and now it's just above 2 minutes because I got a lot better at just cutting stuff out and making things more straight and to the point and a lot shorter. That's one of the big things I learned from doing these spec ads. Another thing I also learned is patience. Patience is very important with these, because if you really want to get what you want, you have to be patient, just allow it to happen. You can't just force stuff out like I did with the change spec ad. Be a lot healthier just to wait. So the big thing everybody learns when filming is that you can't always get your vision. You're always going to make compromises, and it's important that if you want to get something as close as possible to your vision, you need to be patient with yourself. Especially because, yeah, filming like by yourself is really hard. It'll make you think you're going backwards at first seeing your work, because your work at first isn't going to be as good as the stuff you made when you had the help of other people. So you just need to be patient with yourself, because yeah, it's hard. But I do believe that once you're able to get comfortable doing this by yourself, it will make you a lot better when you are working with a crew, because you've worked under such hard restraints that whenever a problem occurs, you'll be a lot easier to adjust and navigate all those challenges ahead of you. And yeah, I think that's it. If you stuck around this long, I'm very sorry. But I can't wait for you guys to see everything else that's coming up. There's a lot of stuff I have in the pipeline, some stuff already made, some stuff in the middle of editing that I think you guys will be excited for. And yeah, that's it. I hope you all have a great day.